I think
No.
if I had amassed enormous wealth when I was like in my 20s, I'd probably be dead actually. And I'd probably, or if I was
Bit
still
ridiculous.
alive and had gone to rehab, I think I would have probably been an unbearable like monster brat
Brat.
brat. Um yeah, I think now though, if I came into immense wealth, anyone out there, hi,
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
send you my
babies.
cash app details. Um, I think I would be really fucking cool, and I would obviously have a really good time.
I do
Um,
a lot of charity stuff.
I do a shitload of charity work. I already know in my. This is why we do need a lottery win because I just want to
I
give back.
know.
I
I know
just want to help
exactly what I would
people.
do with it. I know
Yeah.
exactly what I
But the
would
thing
do
is
with
that
it.
we always discuss this. Your people's when you're discussing this like fantasy win of a lottery.
Swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivel chair, swivel chair.
Nasty girl. Scandalous. Insatiable. A real freak. Freaky girl.
Hello.
Hi, we're back again.
Welcome to Feral Friends. We're back again, episode 3, season 2. We're motoring along, basically, aren't we? We're on
Here's to
fire.
that.
Cheers. Well, I'm having a different type of drug.
Celebration.
Because alcohol's a drug too, you know.
Indeed, it is my
It's just
favorite
socially
kind.
acceptable. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
How's life?
good.
What's been shucklacking?
I'm good. I'm good. I've just been following the goings on this week in the world
Yeah,
around us.
I
Uh,
feel like there's been like the usual toxic shit going on, and then there's been a
as
few little
always.
nuggets. Not as much as usual, but there's been a
Yeah,
few
it's been
things that happened.
a bit of a slow week, but I
Quiet
suppose
one.
the obvious one, seeing as we've been following the story very closely,
Oh,
is Prince Harry released his book Spare, and along with the audio book version of him reading the
oh my!
book.
Did you appreciate that I sent out the PDF to you? I
Well, I
was
don't
literally
think
like,
you should.
okay.
I mean, I don't think you should be. That's piracy. I don't think you should be bragging about that, young
Okay.
lady.
It was sent to me by a friend.
Okay.
Thank you, friend.
I was very no, thank you very
Yes.
much. It was very nice, but I haven't. I think I'm gonna actually buy it and
Get the
read it
book.
on my journey to Australia
Look,
soon.
from those snippets, do you know what? I want the audiobook because from what I've
I
heard,
don't.
even though it made me question things and I was just like, stop it. And
I
it made
don't.
me look at him in a different light. I was just sort of like, I kind of would enjoy it. And then you could just be on the go listening to it. It'd be perfect.
Oh, I don't.
Like,
The bit when he's talking about his when his willy got frostbitten, but he keeps on calling it his todger. I just think like
how
silly penis. Like, come on, we're all adults. Your todger is such a like Eton
his
boys
torture.
changing
Oh
room
my God.
rugger.
But
Ugh,
it,
gross.
but I'm just like, how did he get frostbite on his penis?
He was doing some charity
What
walk
was
or
he
something in the
dipping it
North.
in
No, it
things?
was he was in the North Pole, and he obviously your extremities are the first bits that get like frostbite. Your willy, your
What
todger.
about his balls then?
Well, I don't know. I think it was the tip of his dick. And anyway, and then he talks about how someone told him
Oh
to
my
put
God.
8 hour cream on it. And it reminded him of the fact that
My
Princess Diana used to use 8 hour cream. And when he put it on, he could, the smell remind, it was very Oedipal.
as
Like,
as Lucy said, it was very edible. It was
yeah, it
like,
was very, very
that's a little
Oedipal.
disturbing. But
And yeah, I don't know. And
he's
then,
let rip in that book. He literally went
yeah.
all out and then talking about his brother's hair loss. And it's like, listen, Harry, you're not doing too well
Yeah, but
yourself.
he's doing better
But
than William. He's doing better than
yeah.
William.
And then he always says he used to look like our mother, not anymore.
I know, I know.
Ah,
I
ah.
mean, the thing
He
is,
literally went out.
I feel that there's sort of everyone I think is a bit not grossed out by this audiobook version. I think that was a step. I think he shouldn't have read the audiobook version because it's just too it's a bit too much.
He,
I don't know. I found it a bit
yeah.
like ooh,
I,
nails
I
down a
feel like that
chalkboard.
hasn't done him any favors,
No.
the audiobook, but it has definitely garnered attention. Like they said, it was one of the fastest selling books.
Yeah, of course. I
He's made
mean,
an absolute fortune, so I don't think he gives a shit, to be
no.
fair.
No. I mean, good for him. Spill the tea, tell us everything. All
Yeah.
the revelations as well about Camilla. That was what I was like
Oh
about,
yes,
that she's like the wicked stepmother,
she's a
basically.
demon. Well,
Uh,
yeah, it's all her fault.
and that
Well,
they
it's sort of
begged,
Charles's
that
fault, to be fair.
they begged Prince Charles not to marry her, apparently.
Yeah. And how
Yeah.
she turned his room into a gym or a
I,
change, no, a
an
dressing
office or
room.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she turned it into a dressing room, and it's like, how many rooms in the palace?
I
No,
know,
she had
right?
to go
I
for that
know,
one.
I know.
That's just, she's not a nice person. I
Ultimate.
knew she was demonic before, but like you can see it in the face, no matter how much surgery you've had, the evil shows.
I
It
don't
comes
think that
through.
she's had a lot of surgery. Anyway, she's the
She did
ultimate
have a
side
lot. Do
chick.
you remember what she looked like before?
She still
Like
doesn't look very good now, I don't think.
I know, but it was worse before. She had stuff
Well,
done,
I'm sure she has a few. She's had a few royal nips and tucks for
royal
the. I
lifts.
mean, it was all that wind in her face from constantly being on horseback, chasing innocent foxes and tearing them to shreds. That kind of tells you all you need to know about people like that. They do fox hunting. Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that enjoyable? It's so fucking weird and
I'm
gross.
not averse
Uh,
to the odd pelt.
Yeah, you had that disgusting dead animal round your
Listen,
neck, but it was like it had a head and a
to
face
be
and a.
to be to be clear, can we just be clear? This was I did not buy this hat. This hat was my sister's hat that she got from work that had been made for someone, a famous someone in particular, and they didn't want it, and she brought it back because she
Because it was
thought it was funny.
disgusting.
But it was like a little Russian fur hat, but it still had the fox's head on it and the four legs and the tail. And so I used to wear it and scare my nieces and nephews. It was
Vile.
funny.
It's vile. It's vile.
Look, it was already made and it was incredibly warm. So I was just putting it to use. Otherwise, it would have been a waste. And I love foxes. It was cute.
So much so that you would wear a dead one on your head.
Yeah,
Great. I'm calling Peter.
I think they're
Um,
adorable.
did you watch the Golden Globes?
I did. I love Jennifer Coolidge. I'm glad
It's
she won.
amazing.
It was really
I'm so
sweet.
yeah.
Although what she did say, where I was just like, "Oh, Jennifer, you okay?" Because when she was thanking the guy and said, "I didn't want to live, or you make life worth living, or something," I was like, "Oh, has she been all right?"
Well, I
Because
don't,
she's
you
always
know,
joking. But I loved it when they were asking her if what's your next role, and she was like, "I'd love to play a dolphin."
yeah.
I think she's brilliant. I
I'm
love her.
glad that
She's
she's
very
having her
amusing.
like second wind in her career, especially as like an older woman in Hollywood, like it's good. It's good. And I
Yeah,
really liked
she
that
seems like a lot of fun.
yeah, she seems really cool. And she's funny. She's there's video of her doing like there's footage, I guess, of her doing stand up. And yeah, so there's video of her doing stand up. And I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I saw like a very, very few seconds of it, but it was from a few years ago, but it was funny. It was
Yeah.
good. I really
She's a
liked
funny lady.
yeah, I really liked as well that MJ Rodriguez got her flowers because she was like the
Yes.
first trans actress to win, I think, Best Actress last year for Pose, but it
Okay.
wasn't
Yeah.
obviously it wasn't televised. But Ryan
Oh,
Murphy
yeah.
was like, "Look, I just want to give her her moment," so she got to stand up and everyone was clapping. It was really nice. I thought
Oh,
that was
that's nice.
good.
That is nice. I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, it was cute, and obviously like Angela Bassett, who I want to know
That
like
woman.
she must have had some work done.
Listen, I think she's had a few bits and pieces done, but I think it's just fantastic genetics. It's like
Yeah.
Gabrielle Union. Those
It's
people,
ridiculous.
her, Lucy Liu, all of them, they
Yeah.
just
I feel like
get
they
better.
have
Paul
some
Rudd.
kind of a death becomes her cult in Hollywood where there's certain
I want to
people where they're
join.
just like because
I
it's
want to
ridiculous. She
join.
doesn't age. Paul Rudd as well, yeah,
She
is
looks
another one.
beautiful.
But
He
it's
looks
do you know
beautiful.
what?
I love him.
It's always the people with that have I feel like she has a good pure soul, Angela Bassett, and so does Paul
Yeah.
Rudd. Like he's a good person.
But did
And I
you
feel
see that? And he's very funny as well. But did
yeah.
you see how they like because Brad also looks good, and we know that he's not necessarily the best person,
I
but
don't
they were
think
all
he
obsessed with him. They were all like, "Oh, Brad!"
Do you
Like
know what? I
in their
realize now that I'm
speeches.
older that this whole thing in the 90s and noughties with Brad Pitt, when everyone was like, Brad Pitt's the sexiest man, like that was like a mass fucking delusion because fine, yes, he's an
I
attractive man.
told you lot.
I
I
know.
prefer them
I
when they're a bit more
felt
vintage.
like it's like
Now he
I was
looks good.
now he looks
Good.
like a
He looks
busker.
like a handsome older man, but like still in good shape. So yeah, I'd definitely do it. You telling me you'd say no?
Probably not, but you know, I'd make a fuss about it. So
Literally, if you insist, don't wake me.
yeah, basically, I'm not, you know, he's not, he was never all that. It's like, yeah, mass
Do you mind
hysteria.
if I continue eating?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't ask permission. I just, that's a given. I'm not stopping eating. Like, I'll use you parts of your body as a rest for the food that I'm eating during sex as well.
Oh my God.
I think the highlight though, I think because you know, if I had won a Golden Globe and they started to play the music, I would be like, shut the fuck up. And Michelle Yeoh
Imagine.
actually did that, which is great. And I haven't seen the
That's
film.
hilarious.
I really want to. Have you seen that Everything Everywhere All at Once? I really
No,
want
no,
to watch
no. I
it.
didn't even know what it was about or anything. So,
I think it's like a kind of it's DC or Marvel or something. It's like a superhero,
so
but
it's an
like
action thing.
yeah. And the guy from the Goonies also won like best supporting actor, like
I
$50
loved his
bill.
speech. His
Yay.
voice hasn't really changed that much, and I
I know,
loved
it's
his
so
speech. That
cute.
was really, really, really
It was
nice.
so
I love
cute.
that. That was good.
But we've actually got the footage of Michelle Yeoh to show you, and we're going to watch it
Good.
at the same time.
Okay.
So we are going to go in 3, 2, 1.
Along came the best gift. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Shut up, please. I can beat you up, okay?
Did she learn?
Yeah, right. Don't she'll fucking she'll have ya.
She's incredible. Like she is another one who
Yeah.
looks fantastic, incredible.
She's
So
in the
glad that
death. She's
she
in the
got.
death becomes her cult.
Yeah,
It's good.
I
It's
want to
good.
join.
Well, I don't know. You have to be a famous Hollywood
Do
star.
something.
Do
I know.
something.
I'll get there. Something.
Um, so
Oh,
another thing that happened this week, which is less fun, much less fun than the Golden Globes, is it was revealed well, the depth of the church. I always had my suspicions, but the
we knew.
actual depth of the Church of England's involvement in the slave trade was revealed.
And they amassed a $12 billion fortune from it.
From
And it's
doing
like,
this.
so this is what it was all based on. But this is the Church of England.
Yeah.
So
The Catholic
yeah,
Church
to
as
be clear,
well must
the
be
Catholic Church.
well
So these
involved.
people built their wealth, and now they're like, oh well, we're going to give $121 million back to distribute on projects, basically trying to convert people to their religion
Yeah,
and
but
not
no,
just
no
saying, look, we're
direct,
going to give money back.
no direct reparations. No plans
Oh,
for direct
bastards.
reparations. They can fuck
Absolute
off.
bastards.
Basically, the way that they got this money. So in the 18th century, they set up this fund to help poor clergy members called the Queen Anne's Bounty. And
Yeah.
what that fund did was it invested in the South Sea Company, which was a slave trading company. And
Right.
so the church is directly involved in, how many people was it? Purchasing and transporting 34,000 people, mostly around the Caribbean. 34,000 people. And they tried to claim for 200 years, basically, that the ledgers of this Queen
Were
Anne's
lost.
Bounty were lost. And now all of a sudden
And
they've turned up.
now
And
they've got them proudly on display, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, yes, this happened. Sorry, oopsie. And it's like,
Yeah.
first of all, that's barely enough. That's not even enough
100. You have 12 billion. You've made $12 billion.
12
You give
billion.
back $12 billion, bitch. Like, sorry.
And it's like not even half. And it's just a case of they've amassed an even greater fortune by now. So it's a
Yeah.
case of, listen,
And
you
I
can
feel
afford
like
to do this. And as a religious, like, you know, your whole Christianity based thing, it's just sort of like you should be so ashamed and just be like, right, to these countries, we're just going to give X amount of money, no link to not, oh, you have to attend church or any of the things that they're blatantly going to have to tie it into and be like, so the church did all these wonderful things, and then they'll claim taxes on it or something or other. There's something that they're going to do.
I feel like $12 billion is probably quite a conservative estimate as well. $121 million given back is a pittance.
Nothing.
Is an absolute pittance. And yeah, like you said, it'll probably come with strings attached. The church is corrupt. The Catholic Church is corrupt. The Church of England's corrupt. All these
of it.
evangelical
It's a made-up
churches,
church. The
it's
Church of
corrupt.
England. It was created because he wanted to fuck someone else.
It's
It's
corrupt.
just like ridiculous.
It's corrupt. And so that news kind of made me feel really well,
Dirty.
not I felt like it's while it's good, you know, that part of this $121 million apparently is to fund research, further research into the church's participation in the slave trade. But it's like, why do we
Why
need
do we
why
need
are
to
you spend
research it?
why
We
do we
know
need
their
to research it? We know
participation.
that. Spend that money
And
on
that
something on something meaningful. Like it's ridiculous. So
no.
it's bullshit.
Give back to every single country that you stole
The
from.
Church of England is bullshit, but at least it's something, and we need to make sure that need to make sure that they're being pushed to actually pay reparations, because that's the only thing that really
Yeah.
matters.
Now that they've come out with this, though, they'll probably be like, yes, 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 and then silence.
Well, I
Silence. We're
think that
working on it.
no, I think that now that it's out, people will be on their back, like activists and organizations, civil society organizations, as
I
they
hope
should
so.
be. And I hope that it leads somewhere.
Mm.
We're like midway through January now. Thank
Oh
God,
my
it's
God, it's
dragging.
so fucking
It's
cold. So cold,
dragging.
Jack.
You
So
can't.
cold.
We've spoken about this before.
Listen,
You do not tell me about cold when you live in Madrid and I live in
just
Berlin.
because my cold is not as intense as your
Your
cold
cold
doesn't
is
make it
not as valid
invalid.
as my cold, so just be quiet, okay?
It's valid.
It's
It
not
is valid. You made that choice. You did that to yourself.
what's the
I moved here
temperature?
for warmer climes.
I mean, I just don't
Rude.
I can't take the whining. I can't take the general like it's got when it's like what is it like 12 degrees or 13 degrees or something?
It's probably like 8 or 7 now.
Oh, I mean
But
that's
look, it's
pretty
going to
cold.
get colder. It's going to get colder. It's like this is just the beginning of the bullshit. It's going to get colder, and then there's going to be like it's been super misty. It looks like a movie set when I look out the window at night. It's really like
I
misty.
don't like
Um,
January. Nobody likes January.
suppose.
It's long, it's dark, it's cold. Although to be fair, I don't think my January blues have been as pronounced as that's probably because I know I'm going
Have
to
you been
Australia.
using your light bulbs?
No, I haven't actually been using my laptop, but I've been out every day. Obviously, now having Milo, I'm walking a lot every day, and like I think that makes a big difference to your mood and like exercising and stuff. I hate to admit it,
Oh
makes you
my God, I
feel
did some
better.
exercise today.
Oh my God, stop the presses.
I was supposed to leave the house and I didn't want to because it was cold. So I was just like, I've got clothes on, as I say, well, the workout clothes. So I did a thing here and
Did
I
you do
just cursed at her
Pamela?
the whole time. I did not do Pamela.
Efra and I
I
used to
did
work
something
out
else.
occasionally to this really smug German woman called Pamela. She's got a really big social media following, and she's irritating,
Yeah.
and the workouts are ineffective. So fuck you, Pamela. Um,
I have
basic.
a friend who swears by Pamela, actually.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, whatever
Yeah.
works for you, but Pamela, I don't know.
I hate them all.
She looked hungry. She looked dissatisfied with her life, and I
Yeah.
think she
She's having a great time.
needs to eat a
Pamela's
pie.
loving life. Pamela's
Okay.
making money.
So basically, the last thing we were going to talk about before we move on to our main topic and conversation and discussion, is okay. Basically, I'm going to put two pictures up now, and I know this is a cheap shot because you shouldn't talk about people's appearances, but I feel that Suella Braverman has forfeited the right
I
to have
mean,
any kind of respect shown to her. So there's I'm going to show you a picture of Suella Braverman and a picture of one of the mystics from the Dark Crystal, just to show you how identical they are and how this image lives in my head rent free. So pictures are going to be shown right now. This
is this
woman,
what you see before you go to bed?
yeah,
Before
when
you
I
close
close
your
my eyes.
eyes?
The only thing is that makes this analogy not slightly less than perfect is that the mystics in the Dark Crystal are wise and good, and they want to help people and they want to heal the planet. And Suella Braverman is the opposite of those things. She is the spawn of Satan, born of his pre-cum, not even the full ejaculation, but the
Just a
drip,
drizzle.
right? Yeah. So anyway, Suella
Right.
Braverman, there was this week, was at some kind of like a citizens meeting, whatever. And a 93-year-old Holocaust survivor stood up and challenged her and told her story that she had survived, being in a death camp, and said that the fact that Suella Braverman uses words like
Language.
swarm and invasion to talk about the refugee crisis is dangerous, and would she apologize?
And similar to what the Nazis used to dehumanize.
Of course, that's exactly what she was saying. That's exactly what she said. And Suella Braverman said, no, 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 and she refused to apologize to the woman, to this Holocaust survivor standing in front of her. So that's one
Wow.
thing. That's one thing that she's done this
She
week.
really is a scumbag.
She's fucking awful. And so the next thing that they've done is they announced this week, the Home Office, that they're going to ditch 28 out of the 30 pledges that they committed to from the Windrush inquiry, basically. So after the Windrush scandal, there's this big inquiry, and they put forward these
What a
30,
surprise.
right? And they are ditching 28 out of 30 of them. Only 8 of the 30 have been fully implemented. And only 5% of victims have been compensated from this Windrush compensation scheme. That was of August 2021, but I don't imagine the figure is much higher now. So,
do you know what?
Yeah.
They've been super busy, because I also heard about this other bill that they're trying to push through. And, obviously when Brexit happened with workers' rights and everything.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get everyone to write to their local MPs. And it was to do with how they're trying to take back the rights of part-time workers and everything, and just decimate the workplace, so that there'll be anyone who's like a single mother, or with anyone with children who needs to work part-time or have flexible hours or anything like that. They're just trying to ruin everything. I don't understand it, because they need a workforce. It doesn't make sense.
They're trying to ban strikes effectively now as well. They're just beyond, it's beyond words now. And like, they will lose the next, unless Keir Starmer beheads
Don't
a
be so
child.
sure.
Unless
Don't be so sure.
Keir Starmer beheads a child live on TV, Labour are going to win the next election, because the Tories are going to keep on doing what they're going to doing, and people have had enough now. Like, that's it. They're done. So, but they could do a lot of damage between now and then, and they are all.
When is the next election?
Next year, 2024. They all deserve to burn in hell, as I say every week when we talk about the Tories. Burn in fucking hell. All right, so let's not talk about the Tories anymore. We are going to start doing this new little segment where we're going to have like a meme, a meme, or meme of the week, or like a meme, or like
I love that they call that here.
I know, meme, or like, or a clip of the week. So that's what we're going to do. And the clip of the week, basically this week, is this news presenter guy, Nick Owen, who, do you remember that he used to present some like morning show with like Anne Diamond? Do you remember his face?
Oh, is that where he's from?
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I think it was like TV.
He just looked like a sickly old man.
Right. Well, he presents the undoubtedly thrilling show Midlands Today. Right, now it's time for the news.
Cool.
Your area. And he was basically talking about this father and son duo who do hippity hoppity videos on the TikToks. And
on the tickety
tocketies. And he was talking about how they have amassed, this huge following, and they've got some very famous celebrity fans. However, he was slightly unsuccessful in his, where have I put this bloody video now?
pronunciation
In
of
his
some of the artists following
of
him.
of the person in question. So and we'd like to share it with you now because it's wonderful. So we are going to start this video in 3, 2,
have amassed, wait for it, 84 million views. And as you told a reporter, Lindsay Doyle, they count Beyonce and Jay-Z among their fans.
It's just, why?
It's
Why?
brilliant. It's brilliant. Jay-Z.
It's
The thing
sphincter
is,
clenchingly awkward.
the thing
It's
is,
just
and then
like, stop it. And it's the hand that I'm down with the kids.
he basically came back and gave like a rebuttal because he was like, obviously I know it's Jay-Z, but I was just, da, da, da. But I mean,
I'm
my
down with the
heart,
kids. He
I
literally
can't,
says that.
right, because he just said down with the kids, but I feel slightly sorry for him because he was just reading the audio. Feel like it was just a brain fart, like, but
Yeah.
not because I
He,
don't, I mean, who
yeah.
knows? Maybe he's got kids that are into hippity hoppity music and
On the tickety
on the
tockety.
ticket, they're hippity hoppity on the tickety tocketies. Do you know what I mean? You know what goes on in the Midlands. There's a lot of hippity hoppers there.
Do you know
Uh,
what? I shouldn't laugh because I am totally out of the loop with a lot of things.
I don't know
I am an
anybody.
old
I don't
fart.
know. Ever since all these people started writing their names with numbers in it, like Lil 9652.
Who are you?
I just think everybody should use the Queen's English or the King's English now, as we have to call it. It's just the world's
It
falling
does
apart.
frustrate me sometimes
Society.
when I hear some of them speak and like things written. I'm just like, you're illiterate. You're illiterate.
Sometimes I do think, first of all, when people speak, enunciate. And also when you write, use proper grammar as far as possible. I'm all for abbreviations, abbreves, as I like to call them sometimes when I'm in a rush. But
They're just so cool.
I know, right? I think language is an ever-changing thing and evolving, but also use fucking commas. Right, there we go. So we are moving on now to our main topic of the week. And this week,
Money,
we're
money,
talking
money,
about
money,
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 money, money,
money,
money.
money, money,
Money,
pay. We're
money,
talking
money,
about
money.
dollars, shekels, yen, pesos, pesetas, escudos, Deutschmarks, guilders, wedge, cash,
Moolah.
moolah. There's so many words for it because it is a very important topic, I guess, in our lives and in the lives of everyone.
Everybody.
We all wish
Have
we
you
had
got
more.
enough?
Never have enough.
Never, ever
Well,
enough.
no, that's not true. You can have enough money, I guess. But you know what I was like when we were like, okay, we're going to talk about money. I realized I don't actually know like how money came about. My dog is trying to chew pieces of my table, which is
Oh,
unacceptable.
Milo.
Milo, stop it.
Is this a new thing?
No, he's just acting up because he wants to be on camera, but I'm not putting on the camera because I'm not enabling his bad behavior. Yeah, so I was like, where the hell does money, like, where did it come from? How did people, I remember learning that people used to use like in some places like salt and stuff to trade with because it was really valuable. And in like ancient African, Chinese and Indian cultures, they used these shells, cowrie shells, they're called, as
Cowrie
currency.
shells, gold, and so you remember King Mansa Musa, one of the richest men ever.
Well, he was apparently the
Obviously,
richest man ever.
Yeah, he crashed the economy in so many countries because when he was traveling around, he was literally just chucking out gold left, right, and center, and they were just
That sounds like he sounds like a cool guy.
He was cool.
He sounds fun. But yeah, no, so obviously
it was Black
like,
Man.
Where did like coins and paper money and money and Lilla in general come from? Well, I'm going to tell you, children.
Tell us, John.
So basically, the origins of money is like in ancient Mesopotamia, right? In about 3000 BC. So that's about 5,000 years ago. That's when the first coins, they think, were like minted. The shekels, they were called. That's like, and that word is
still use them today.
People still calling them shekels today, right?
I count my shekels.
And then that was where they started to use like a monetary system, basically. Actually, I got that wrong. Coins, what came around 700 BC, just kind of spontaneously, actually, all at the same time from India, China, and Greece, which is weird that it's the same thing with farming. That's why they're like aliens came and gave us farming, because farming came around at the same time, roughly the same time, on like 3 different continents. And they're like, how could that possibly be? How could the brown people learn how to farm? How did they feed themselves? They're so silly and basic.
Meanwhile, they've got wooden teeth.
Do you know what I mean? And they don't have a shower for 6 months, and nasty smells emanating from
Exactly.
nasty holes, gross, shitting down the side of a wall. Have you seen those things where on castles where it was like
So
the
nasty.
original toilet
The
and the shit
chute,
just
the poop chute.
the poop chute, and it just drops a fucking long drop right down the side of the castle wall. So God forbid you're taking a turn around the castle and you just get a disgusting,
Oh my God.
vile creatures. Right.
That's disgusting.
So yeah, so coins came around, what's that, like 2,300 years ago, roughly. No, 700 BC. Yeah. Wow,
Yes.
math. That was fast math. I'm so good at math.
Look at you.
And but
Maths.
so paper money didn't appear until about the 11th century in China. So that is where
Okay.
paper money comes from, which is so. But coins have been around a good like couple of millennia.
Been a while. Been a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so obviously, like money kind of dictates everything, really. Well,
Everything. You can't do anything without it. Like
right?
everyone's like, oh yes, you can still have fun, but you're very limited to what you can do. You can walk outside your house. Like there's a running joke in London that you step out of your house, you spend minimum 50 quid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just
But basically, so obviously, like money then gives rise to like systems of managing money, because money is actually the facilitator of the like process of trade, right? Like it takes the place of
Right.
salt or whatever. So obviously, we live in a capitalist society, or like our global society, our global economic system. The way money is managed and made is capitalist, right?
Mm.
Which is like what? Like, what's the definition of
Okay,
capitalism?
so well, look, I can give you a couple because there's an analogy, and they did it all with cows. And so, like, you can explain socialism, capitalism, communism. So, for example, socialism, like, would be you have two cows.
Explain capitalism first.
Okay, let's go to capitalism. What did
Oh,
they say in
sorry.
this example? No, it's fine. Okay, so capitalism is you don't have any cows. The
Right.
bank will not lend you money to buy cows because you don't have any cows to put up as collateral.
So
Basically,
you stay cowless.
you're fucked. Unless you've got something to build on, you can't really move
Okay.
forward. And then with socialism, it's a case of you have two cows. The government then takes one of them and gives it to your neighbor. And then, well, no. So actually, sorry, that was the other one. So I will say it again. So the government takes them and puts them in a barn with everyone else's cows, and then everybody has to take care of the cows, and the government gives you a glass of milk, as much milk as you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yes,
then
kind of, I guess.
with kind of. Yeah. There's a couple of different variations on this, like on this example with the cows. But okay, with the communism one, so it's the government, you have two cows, the government takes both of your cows and gives you the amount of milk that they think you need.
Okay. I mean,
Just to
that's
make sure that
quite,
everyone's
yeah.
got, yeah, there's different variations on it.
Yeah, like
So
I think that the basic difference between capitalism and socialism, and I guess communism, is just a form, like a higher form of socialism, is that in capitalism everything is about private property. Everything's in private hands. The resources are in private hands, and in socialism those things are in public hands, right? Like, so
right.
I get that
And this
capitalism is run for the individual and socialism is run for the good of everybody.
from the masses. Whereas, like, when people think of communism, they think of Russia and they think of, like, everyone starving and, like, you can't have more than the other. Whereas the real idea of communism is that everyone should be at the same, start off at the same level. So everyone should have food,
Yeah,
everyone should have education, everyone should have a roof over their head. All
yeah.
of these basics, so then you can build. It's not like you're not allowed to have more, but we all need to have these basics. Until everyone's got those basics, we can't move forward
Well,
as a
obviously, like,
society.
communism as an ideology was defeated in the Cold War.
Yeah.
So capitalism is now the sole global like way of running the economy. And so they obviously did a
But-
hatchet. They did a hatchet job. Wait, hold on. They did a hatchet job
Mm.
on socialism and communism because they had to make them the baddies, right? It didn't work. But the problem with all of these things not working, like communism in particular, is that it was a dictatorship. It wasn't a democracy.
Right.
Like if you could have a communist democracy, a full, real communist democracy, actually, I think it would be a bad thing. But that will never be allowed to happen, I don't think.
Well,
So
what's funny today is that you've got, like, especially in the States where they consider socialism like a dirty word. It's like I think they think of it like Russian communism
well, yeah, they've
kind of
been. I
thing.
mean,
And they're literally just like, this is awful. They want to make us, like, take away our rights. And it's like, no, socialism is a good thing. Look at Iceland. Look at all of these countries that everyone reveres and says they have a wonderful system. That's what they have.
well, that's obviously those. Yeah, like I was going to talk about. Yeah, the Scandinavian countries. Ultimately, they are. They're not fully socialist, but they're definitely
No.
social democratic. But
Yeah.
you look at every poll, every chart, every graph that talks about like life expectancy, education levels, life satisfaction. They're always at or near the top, and the reason for that is that people pay. Yes, you pay very high taxes, but you in return get very good services back from the state, and that's what socialism is. Like everybody, and if
They
you have
also
more,
get paid well.
they get paid well. If you have more, you pay more. Like I think that
It makes sense.
and also the other thing with the other major problem with capitalism, apart from the fact that it like breeds selfishness and greed and it takes it out of like human hands and let the market decide, right? The problem with capitalism is that it presupposes that you have infinite resources, right? Because to make this capital, you have to be able to exploit the land, the water, everything like this is up for making profit. And that's why we're in the mess that we're in, because we've ruined our planet in the quest of making money, right? Like
Mhm. But what about the argument with people who say capitalism is a good thing? Because you have a lot of people who have made money, they came from nothing and they took advantage of situations and they
yeah,
managed to build up wealth and through capitalism.
nobody's saying that in socialism though that you can't build up wealth, but if you do build up wealth, everyone think that's the thing. Everyone
Should have an
everyone
even
imagines
playing
right.
field.
Everyone imagines socialism to be like 1984. Everyone wearing like fucking boiler suits and having bowl
Brown.
haircuts and eating gruel. It's not like that. It's just saying that if you have made loads of money, then you should help the people at the bottom who don't have loads of money, and you will still be left with loads of money. That's the
And
thing.
it will improve your society.
It will, and everybody benefits, because if you're somebody that's like an entrepreneur, you want a happy, motivated, healthy, well-educated workforce to be more productive. So come on, let's
But
be
the
socialism.
problem is also human nature. People are just like greedy bastards.
But people
they just want to be better than others, and they
But
don't want
yeah,
other people having
that's
what they
true.
have.
No, but
They
people
love that whole
No,
disparity.
that's something that we have been taught that since the beginning of the 1980s with this whole neoliberal thing, the whole Margaret Thatcher greed is good, Wall Street, Gordon Gekko, that shit. Obviously, greed has always existed, but this greed on steroids where we're at now, when the only worth you have is like how much you make or how many followers you have, is directly a result of the last 40 years of our fucking political system. So yeah.
I understand that, but I'm just saying also in human nature, because you can see it whether it's through money or just people's actions, they always prefer to have someone underneath them. It's just like it's in the nature of a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it hasn't been conditioned in,
but
and it's
even
not just in the last 40 years. It's been way beyond that. We've seen it throughout history. Like, there always has to be this sort of what's the word?
hierarchy.
Hierarchy.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
even it's there'll always be people at the bottom. It's just that they won't be starving and homeless and uneducated. They won't be flying with you on your private jet. Like, people
Do you
just
know
need to
what?
fucking calm down about socialism. It pisses
When
me off
you
so
said that,
much.
I just thought
So
of that charity,
irritated.
the
Like,
homeless and toothless charity.
oh
Not
yeah.
toothless, but homeless. So
Not too
awful.
no, that was the worst. charity.
Toothless, not homeless.
I mean, it's a great
No,
concept.
homeless, not toothless.
Homeless, not toothless. But you say unhoused now as well, not homeless, because homeless, like you say enslaved person rather than slave, because it's not a fucking identity, it's a situation you find yourself in. Like you don't have a house. Like how, yeah, anyway, whatever. So I think that we can agree that socialism is a better way. I'm not saying it's a panacea and it's going to fix everything, but it's got to be better than this fucking greedy
That we're in right now.
shit box that we find ourselves in right
It's
now.
crazy.
Oh, I need to breathe. Woosah. Oh, it makes me mad.
Woosah.
Like the bile rises in my throat. La,
Then-
la, 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 la. Do you think that
we need to have a little sound bath.
look at my dog? He's trying to jump up and get to
What's
he's
he
like,
doing?
just
Bring him
wants
up.
attention. No, he's gonna be. Should I bring him up? Come here. Come here. No, he's being a
Wait, I want to
dickhead.
see helicopter, helicopter.
No, he's being a dickhead. Do you think that billionaires should exist?
No, I don't think it's right
Neither
that
do I.
individuals have that amount of money because they're dangerous. I
Yeah.
don't care how how good a person you are to start off with. It's just it's so unnecessary.
A billion
Like, you
pounds.
cannot spend that.
£1 billion is 1,000 million pounds, right? And Elon Musk has $146 billion. So
He lost
he
44.
lost $182 billion recently.
Jesus Christ.
Poor Diddums. But basically he has
And
he's
still
worth,
is a billionaire.
right, he's worth 146,000 million. Just think about how much 1,000 million is.
don't think-
$1,000 million. It's literally
It's
like
a
Dr.
lot.
Evil. $1,000 million. It's a fucking insane amount of money.
For me, I don't think anyone should have that amount of money when there are people starving in the world. And I know
100%.
it's not their individual responsibility, but as a
No.
person, how can you sit there on that amount of money knowing that you could easily have
Milo.
1 billion and put that towards like making things better? And I know it's not your responsibility, but just as a human being to make the world a better place, I don't think it's right.
Well,
I don't think you need more than that.
if you are a billionaire, basically, the only way that you can amass that amount of money is by ripping people
By
off
doing
somewhere.
bad things.
By doing bad things. Even if like you don't,
It's like with Bezos.
it's physically impossible to amass that wealth without someone getting fucked over, or many
someone
people
over.
getting fucked over somewhere along the line. So inherently,
Something
it is wrong.
shady.
And then
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like you get $1 billion, right? Like Bernard Arnault, the head of LVMH, is now the richest man in the world. Is worth $195 billion. Hold on 1 second. I need to put this dog out of the room because he's making too much noise.
Oh my
Bam.
God.
Talk about me while I'm gone.
Okay, he's the one that's married to Salma Hayek. Yeah. I don't know if she would have been there well, maybe they are in love. These are my musings. I like Salma Hayek actually. But yeah, I think that it is insane that an individual has that amount of money. It's so unnecessary.
Hello.
What's
I'm
he
back.
doing with it?
The dog was just making too much noise.
So, otherwise known as Salma Hayek's husband.
Bernard Arnault is not Salma Hayek's husband.
Yes, he is.
No, she's married to someone else. It's a different guy. It's not Bernard Arnault. It's not. I know, but he's another French guy, but it's not. It's definitely not him.
No,
It's not him.
Googling this now.
It's just insane that I feel like you should not be. Nobody needs more than 100 million pounds. Even that is an obscene amount of money, right?
Yeah.
And I used to be very like, yeah, wealth, but it's the more you see the mess we're in, and the fact that the hoarding of money and wealth in what? Go on.
It's Francois Henry Pinault.
Okay, I don't know who he is, and I don't really care.
He owns Gucci.
He owns what? Gucci.
He's the CEO of luxury group Kering. So they have Gucci, Saint Laurent, Balenciaga. That's what I thought with the Louis Vuitton.
Okay, whatever. It's a rich, dusty
He owns
French,
Balenciaga.
a rich, dusty French dude, and his companies promote child abuse. And yeah, great.
He does.
This hoarding of wealth is disgusting, and the global wealth disparity is just getting worse and worse. Basically, I did a bit of Googling, and on the IMF website, they talk about global wealth disparity, and they say the poorest half of the global population owns just 2,900 euros in purchasing power parity per adult, right? So the poorest half of people on earth own 2,900 euros. They're able to buy 2,900 euros worth of goods each, right? While the top 10% owns roughly 190 times as much as that. 190 times that. And income inequalities are also completely fucked. That's the wealth disparity. Now we're talking about income.
Right.
The richest 10% today have 52% of all income, and the poorest half get just 8.5%. So 10% of
And they're
people
doing all the work.
wait. 10% of people get 52% of all income, and 50% of people get 8.5%. How is that? How is that right? Like, how is that right?
And it's literally the workers, the ones out there doing all the shit,
right?
and then they're sat on their fat asses
Yeah,
doing
and then they
absolutely fuck all.
want to
It's like I came up with the idea.
and then they want to ban strikes when they dare to open their mouths to make enough money to feed and clothe themselves, and it's
Well, we saw that all with
so wrong.
Amazon and everything, and like Starbucks, and how they like literally went on attack, and they were like, we're shutting down stores, we're gonna
America,
fire
yeah.
you. Like, it's just, and
You
the fact that
can't.
people actually condone this and still don't see that this is so messed up. And in the UK now, because of Brexit, that's gone. The rights as workers are completely screwed. You've got your 0-hour contracts, all this stuff
I mean,
happening.
0-hour contracts were there before
That's been
Brexit,
there,
but
yeah. But
there's no,
now
yeah,
they're
like
about to reduce even more.
in the in the States, like you can't join a union, you have no workers' rights. It's
You can now with some.
well, some, but like all the Starbucks workers were trying to unionize the Amazon workers, and they basically make it nigh on
two of them were
impossible.
able to.
Nigh
Yeah.
on impossible to do it, but a few managed to do it. But capitalism is wrong. There's got to be a better way of managing the wealth of the world, of global wealth. It's just so wrong.
The issue is now that
And
we've
think,
got these
wait, sorry,
scenarios.
hold on, and think about it. Capitalism as well as a concept is only, this is the thing, people act as if it's always been like this. It hasn't. Like, capitalism is only what, five, or really the beginnings of it is only like 600 years old or something, really, 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 from like the Renaissance in Florence, right? That's when like credit was kind of invented. Like, that's where the word bankrupt comes from, because if you couldn't afford to pay your debts, they would used to come and break your bench in the market. It means bancarotto, means broken bench in Italian. So all of this shit is only right. Yeah, they would come and shame you in the middle of the market if you defaulted, and they would break your bench, and you in public shaming, and you weren't allowed then to trade. So bankrupt comes directly from that, and that is only what, maybe 700 years old. So before that,
it's kind of dumb, because it's like, I need to make the money back.
Right, but still there are other ways of organizing society, there are other ways of organizing wealth, and we need to move towards that if we're going to fucking survive, because this slope we're on is, we in danger, girl.
I think that, yeah, people are going to kick off, because it's getting to the point where there's such a big disparity between the haves and have-nots. And it's like, there's a lot of people that don't have, and they're
there's
getting
more
pissed off,
have-nots than
and they're
haves.
going to kick off. And the fact that, they can see the wealth of everyone else with social media and everything, it's literally rubbed in their faces every single day, and they're being pushed into the dark corners all the time. So they're going to turn around eventually and start literally
and eat the rich. And eat the rich. It's so weird, because obviously we see,
we make the revolution,
right? Vive la révolution. Like, we see so much, like, just by existing and having social media and reading and whatever, consuming content, we see so much conspicuous wealth every single day. And I feel like sometimes it's hard to remember that we are actually part of the haves, not the have-nots. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's we basically, compared to most people in the world, we are like the 1%, really. I think, and it's so it's just, but
I
it's
would
just
not
it's
put myself in the 1%.
no,
I wish
okay,
I was
no,
in
maybe not the
bloody
1%, but we are definitely in the
only.
10%, 100. You know, we're definitely in the 10%. Europe is the we are. Why are you making that face?
Yeah.
Like it's a
I haven't been
fact.
on holiday this year.
Yeah, I know, but this is what I'm talking about. We're so conditioned to be like, oh my god, da, 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 but actually, we you know
I'm being a dickhead.
I know, but you're right, but it's I feel the same. But we have food on the table, the lights are on, we're making a fucking podcast, we've got access to the internet, we've got healthcare, we are winning basically.
Yeah.
And I just want everybody else to be able to win as well. And
Yeah.
people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk need to be put on. Do you know what
Do
they need
not
to
want
do?
that.
Put him on a rocket and just his SpaceX and just blast it
No
off to the moon.
return.
No return ticket. Do not pass go. Do not collect
Have
£200.
fun.
Bye-bye.
Stay there.
They can all
Stay
go up
there
there. Like it's just I don't understand
with his
the
penis rocket.
mentality. Like with this, yeah, gross.
Why
They're
didn't
just
like ugh, that would have been
they're
amazing if he couldn't come back. That would have been literally the perfect ending to
yes.
that. If it went up and could not come back. It was like, right,
Just stay there.
no one would have missed him. No
So
one would have missed him.
irritating. Do you think that money can buy happiness?
100% yes.
I
It buys me
disagree.
happiness all the time. Like, look, if it can't buy you happiness, you're not spending it properly. Because,
Oh, do I disagree?
listen,
I don't know.
there are certain things that make you happy. So by buying a book or going on holiday
Buying a
or getting a
book.
present, yeah, if you want,
You're
yeah,
really going.
you
You're really going with buying a book. You want to
that
say
made
like?
me
Do
happy.
you want to say like buying a really sexy coat or bag? You want to
That
say,
too,
but
you superficial
you're
fool.
sticking with buying a book. All right, it's fine. Don't worry. But
Whatever.
you
No,
go
no,
ahead.
no. Buying food, being able to travel, having money to take up a course
Okay,
or
but you
do
you
something.
can't
This
include
makes
like
me
basic
happy.
needs. You can't include like basic material needs like food and stuff. Obviously,
No,
like
no, no, no. But like treats, like so. For example, I want to go to this wonderful restaurant, or I want to do a nice thing for send some flowers to my friend, or I want to like yeah. It can. I want to buy this amazing outfit because it makes me feel good. I want to go and get my hair done because it makes me feel
okay.
sexy. You know, all of these things. Yeah, it makes me happy.
I think
And if anyone who says it doesn't, you're not doing it right.
you're
Because there
poor.
are so many things, povos.
You're a pover. Um, do I think money can buy happiness? I think that I used to think it can buy happiness, could buy happiness. I definitely did. And I think that I was very like distressed that I didn't have more because I felt unhappy because I didn't have enough money. But I think that the thing is, first of all, I think you have to define the difference between happiness and contentment, right? Money can't make you content, but happiness, I feel, first of all, it's like a fleeting thing. So, because you can't be happy, people that are like, I'm happy all the time, those are serial killers and rapists, right? Run if someone is consistently happy. Run, 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 right? But happiness, you could be like, you can't be happy all the time. You can be like, I feel happy right now, and then you
Yeah,
might feel a
highs
bit
and
right.
lows.
So, money, I don't think money can buy you happiness, but it can't make you content. And that's the difference. And I think the other thing about money is that where it's like happiness, which yes, is that it gives you choices. If you have money, you don't
Yeah.
have to do anything you don't
Money
want to
gives you
do.
choices, and choices equals happiness.
Choices
I'm
also
happy when I
equals
have a
weight
choice of
gain,
something.
drug
That's your
use.
choice to gain weight and do drugs.
equals
And
equals
when you do drugs, you can either be happy or sad. It goes either way. So
you can either get
listen,
like oxy or uppers.
that's a sad one. That's a
Um
sad choice if you do that.
I think the danger though with this is that we live in a society where we equate only being happy with having a lot of money. And a lot of
No,
people
not
now
at
feel
all.
no, I think a lot of people now, especially young people, feel like failures, whatever, because they're not supposedly making all this money when half of these influencers and shit don't actually have this money. All of the shit that they're flashing in your face isn't theirs. Like, and I think that we have this is again going back to capitalism. Like money is God. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I understand that, and I do agree with that to a certain extent. But I feel that, especially after COVID and everything, it's made people realize simple things and appreciate
yeah,
the simple things. A lot of people don't want to be excessively wealthy, they just want to be comfortable and be
yeah.
able to do what they want to do, when they want to do, how they want to do it. And that is different to being like, oh, I want to fly on a private jet. I want to have the most expensive car. They're literally like, I want to be able to have enough money so I can spend time with as much time as I want to with my family. So if I need to, I can take time off and not worry about it.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, if I want to travel, I can do that. If I want to take time off from work to try a new hobby, I can do that. Like something else, it's this freedom. It's not saying excessive amounts of wealth. Yes, there is an issue with that, especially with social media, where there's this whole lifestyle that people are trying to keep up with, especially with younger people. But I think once you hit a certain, well, even with some young people, it's just like the simplicity of things, their understanding of it. Not everyone wants to be obscenely wealthy, because with that
Loads
comes a
of
lot of problems.
money. I just you've got to obviously you've got to have enough money to keep body and soul together, and
All I need is 28 million.
well,
And
it's
I'll be
very
fine.
specific. It's a very specific number. Do you think money is the root of all evil?
No, people
I
are.
I do. I do.
I think people and religion.
But I don't. I feel like so many dastardly things.
No,
But obviously, religion too is very much up there. Organized religion.
all boils down
Um,
to people and wanting control. It's got nothing to do with money. Money is a byproduct of it. It's essentially people and their attitudes. That's the root of all evil. There you go.
but money has been used as an excuse to like kill, maim and kill
Religion more
and
so.
exploit. I guess I don't know. I
Now
just
it's money. Before it was religion. Now it's money. What's next? It will be something else.
I
But
think.
essentially, it's all done by people.
But
People
I
being
think
dicks.
I think obviously, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say I think like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos are evil people. Do I think that? I think they are,
Us wankers.
they're definitely swaggers.
Us wankers.
But I feel like once it takes a hold over you, right, money, then it's kind of like a drug, and you have to. It's like fucking like Scrooge
Never
McDuck. You've
enough.
got to dive into your fucking pool of giant money, and like my precious, it corrupts you.
Do you honestly think, like, if you had, well, maybe if you're honest with yourself, like, I feel like you'd like to think that once you had a certain amount and you knew you would be comfortable and set for life, you'd just be like, okay. There's always the fear that, like, everyone has the fear that you could lose, because you could at any moment. You don't never know what's around the corner. Something could happen. You could lose everything that you have. So people have that innate fear in them. And so they're always
I
trying to
don't
accumulate or maintain what they have. But there are some people who take it to excess and it's just never enough, and they just want to get more and more and more and more.
I don't think that I would change fundamentally if I had a huge amount of money. Like at this point in my life, I think I think
No.
if I had amassed enormous wealth when I was like in my 20s, I'd probably be I'd probably be dead actually. And I'd probably, or if I was
That would
still
be good.
alive and had gone to rehab, I would I think I would have probably been an unbearable like monster brat. Yeah, I think now though, if I came into immense wealth, anyone out there, hi,
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
send you my
babies.
Cash App details. um I think I would be really fucking cool, and I would obviously have a really good time.
We'll do a lot of charity stuff.
I do a shitload of charity work. I already know this is why we do need a lottery win, because I just want to
I
give
know.
back. I
I know
just want to help
exactly what I would
people.
do with it. I know
Yeah,
exactly what I
but the
would
thing
do
is
with
that
it.
we always discuss this. Your people's when you're discussing this like fantasy win of a lottery, in my head, I've won like 200 million euros, whatever, on Euro Millions. People come with, oh, all I need is a couple of million. Why are you limiting your fantasy of winning?
Dream big.
I want to win an obscene amount of tax-free money so that I can help the poor
In
and
the UK,
needy.
is it tax free?
Yeah. In America, it's not, I
Okay,
don't
it's
think.
in America they
In the
tax
States,
them.
you have to pay
Bastards.
taxes. So
How angry
fucking,
would you
and
be?
America is the fucking
So
cradle of capitalism. See, everything links back to the C word.
bastards.
No, I already know. I would obviously I would have a foundation, some kind of a foundation. I haven't thought of the name yet. I would, yeah, obviously, like I'm sure everyone's
Mine
the
would be
same.
called the EFIBA Fund.
The EFIBA fund.
Yeah,
Okay. Why?
Huh?
Why? Why would it
That's
be
my
called?
name.
I know it's your name, but like why it's not very catchy. You should just call it the EFIBA fund.
I like it as
Okay.
is.
Is it an
Don't
is
ruin
it
it
is
for
it
me.
is it like an
It's an
acronym?
acronym.
What does
It
it
is. I haven't
stand
worked out
for?
what it means. I'm getting to that
Every
point.
feral idiot buys
Every fucking
apples. Every fucking
individual
individual
better.
better away.
That was awful.
Every fucking every let's think.
Every feral individual believes. Oh no, I need
Uh,
deserve with a B.
every feral individual
Individual
be
is betrothed a
no,
gift.
what?
There you go.
Okay, we did it. Well, all right. So the
There's good
EFIBA fund,
intentions
there's
behind it.
good intentions.
Yeah,
Well, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So there we go.
I tried.
I would just be fabulous, and I would have properties. I would have obviously, I would have property here in Berlin. I would have one in London, and I would have one. Where did I say I was going to have one? Oh, one in Italy and one in Ibiza. I'm not trying to be, too blah blah blah.
Not greedy.
Flashy, blah de da. And then I would just stay in wonderful hotels wherever else I went in the world.
Yeah. You don't need to have too many
Do
properties
you know what I
because that's
mean?
maintenance and wasting money.
I would like a
You know,
yacht. I would like a yacht. I'm not going to lie.
that's a waste of money.
Why?
I'd
If you can
charter
afford
one.
it. Do you watch Below Deck?
Yes, I do, and I love it.
I love Below Deck
But
too. If you
but
charter yachts are for poor people. I'm
listen,
sorry.
at that point, I'm gonna if I've got that amount of money, I'm gonna have friends who have yachts, and I'll go on their yachts. I
But
don't want the
no, what? So you're
responsibility
just
of the
going to get a
fucking boat.
whole new. This is the thing. This is the flaw in your logic. You're just going to ditch your mates and get a whole new group of
No,
hoity-toity yacht
have
people.
yachts.
Huh?
People with boats.
Yeah, but how do you meet these? Who are they? How are they coming into your life?
They're already there, John. They're already
No,
there.
no. See, this is why you shouldn't get rich because you're just gonna run off and tell you
No, I'm not at all. Obviously, you keep your dear ones close to you.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
When you're moving around in different
I
circles,
don't
people be
believe
like, "Oh,
you.
you should come on my yacht." I'll be like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
but then
sure I will,"
and then
and I'll bring my mates.
yeah, but then you look really poor because you can't reciprocate. They have you on your yacht and you can't have them on
Why do
yours.
I look like? Why would I look poor? I'm
You're gonna
clearly not. And if that's
entertain
what they think,
you're
then more for them.
you're gonna entertain your guests on a charter yacht. You're poor.
No,
You're poor.
you're a poor.
You obviously didn't win enough in your lottery win, unlike me, who has a
Not a problem.
100-meter.
I don't want the responsibility of a boat that sucks up all my money.
No,
Absolutely
but
not.
oh
That's
God,
a foolish mistake.
I feel like my cries are falling on deaf ears. In this, you have enough money. I'm not gonna get a super yacht if I don't have enough money to maintain it and still maintain my luxurious lifestyle and give back to the poor and
It's
needy.
bad for the environment.
Whatever. Tell it to
See how
Greta.
you are,
See,
literally.
whatever.
They're like,
Capitalism,
everyone's
capitalism.
terrible, terrible. And then it's like, but I want a
But I
massive
want a
super yacht. I
giant
think
yacht.
that's so wrong. No, absolutely not. That's
Let
horrible.
me have my yacht. Just
You
give
can
me
have
my
your yacht and I'll come on
yacht.
it.
Huh?
I'll come on it if you get one. If you get one, I'll come
Well,
on it.
maybe you're not invited. I don't normally
Can't imagine it'd be much fun.
charter yachters on my yacht. Um,
Oh,
well, I mean, I think in conclusion, money is it would be good to have more,
yeah,
but I
definitely could do with a
also
bit more.
always do with more, but I also I'm here, I'm good, I'm alive.
Yeah.
Burn capitalism, burn it down, eat the rich. But I'm all for guillotining them in Place de la Concorde again. The French
What if they
Revolution.
come for you, John,
I'm not rich enough, and if they come for me, then I will try and
with your
convince
yacht?
them that I'll flee on my yacht. That's what I'll do.
Bye.
I'll be.
Yeah, I'd learn how to fly a helicopter. Helicopter.
I just think they're so dangerous, the
They
helicopters.
are. I'd
I
flown
think
by
with
a
a
plane.
with a yacht, if you just go and hide out in the middle of the Pacific, they're not going to find you. How can they
You know
find you?
what? I'm
They're
getting an island.
vast.
That's what I'm doing. Did
Yeah,
you
that
see
would be
that
good.
island that was
How
cheaper
are you
than
gonna
a
get to, how
London
are you gonna
flat?
get to how are you gonna get to your island?
With a helicopter.
I'd love
But
an island. I would
yeah, but did you
love an
see that
island.
one in the Caribbean that was where was like 300 and something thousand, and it's
Is that
got
it?
Wi-Fi, everything. Yeah, cheaper than a London flat.
Wow, we need
Yeah,
to rob someone and then buy this island. We need to defraud it. We need
seriously,
to
someone
defraud a
needs to get
bank
it
and then buy
sorted.
this island.
It needs to
Um,
be done. It's got like five
okay.
acres or something.
5 acres and a mule.
Mm.
We are going to play a little. It's a little bit different from Feral Facts this week. We're calling it Fair, and we might make this a continuous. Oh, sorry, my papers are rustling. Excuse me. We might make this a continuous thing if we decide to do so, basically. But it's called Feral Fragen, which is feral questions in German. You see, we're
Feral
so
Fragen.
Feral Fragen. We're so
Sprechen Sie
multilingual.
Deutsch.
It's actually kannst
For
du
our
Deutsch.
German
For
listeners.
our German listeners, yeah, wir können auch Deutsch hier. So basically, we were like, we're talking about money, so let's do a currency quiz of obscure, weird currencies and see if we know any of these currencies.
Ready.
So let's
Tell
begin.
me, talk to me.
Effa, do you know what the currency of Poland is?
It's something weird.
That's very offensive to Polish people.
No, because it's not like a euro. It's not the because it's obviously not in the euro, but
The
it's
clock's
not like
ticking 5 seconds. Five,
okay.
four,
It's like
three,
it's not
two,
even a Polish
one.
something. It's
No,
a
no,
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. The time is up. Your time is up. Stop talking. The currency of
What
Poland
is
is
it?
the currency of Poland is pronounced ZLOTY, which I thought was zloty until I actually found out yesterday it's pronounced złota. So it's a
Why?
złota, and
Why or I?
it's Z. It's spelled ZLOTY with a little kick thing through the L. Sorry to Polish
Okay.
people listening to. I don't know what that accent's called. So it's called the
This is
złota.
zlota.
Złota. That L
Złota.
with the line through it in Polish is pronounced like a W. Złota.
Okay.
And
Złota.
100 grosz make up 1 złota. So like 100 pence make up a pound, right?
Okay. Got
All
it.
right,
Got it.
so there we go. We're imparting knowledge and
All right. Okay. Let me
cultural
check.
favors.
Okay. So what do they have in Ghana?
Chocolate, cocoa.
No. What currency, you dickhead?
Oh, I don't know. The Ghanaian Gar.
No.
What's it
That's a
called?
horrible answer. It's CDs. They have
CDs.
CDs.
CDs. Do they have
Yes.
cassettes as well?
I knew you were going to say something like that.
Well,
So
yeah, so
awful.
that's an open goal.
Okay. All right. Okay. So try this. What about in Georgia?
In the state of Georgia, I believe they
No, not in
no,
the state
I
of
know, I
Georgia.
know. In Savannah, Georgia. In Georgia, they probably have something in Georgian, and I believe it's called a George.
You're an idiot. It's actually called the Georgian Lati.
Oh, that sounds like something. I feel
Lati.
that sounds like
Georgian
something
Lati.
latte. It sounds like either a
Sounds like
drink
a
or a
delicious
snack.
snack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like a latke, a potato latke.
Because
Ooh,
their typical food in Georgia is the bread with the
khachapuri.
cheese and the egg. Khachapuri. That's it.
Khachapuri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
That's
that.
I'd love to
Sexy
catch
stuff.
someone's puri.
40.
Um,
Ew.
okay, go on, continue.
Okay, so I was torn between
Nothing's fine, I'm
Jordan.
torn.
I
I
was
feel
torn
like
between
Jordan is a
Jordan.
dinar.
I Okay, so we're not doing Jordan, it's the Jordanian dinar. So we've got the Isle of Man and Croatia.
Croatia is kruna or something, a kuna.
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 So we're doing the Isle of Man.
Kunu. The Isle of Man, slavery coins. I
Ah,
don't know
no,
what
it's the Manx pound.
the Manx pound. Yeah, it's weird. What is it? It's like they have Jersey pounds as well and Guernsey pounds, like because they are
I didn't know
actually.
they had something different.
I don't know what the status of all these, like these offshore islands in the UK, like the Isle of Man
Random.
and the Channel Islands,
Mm.
like they aren't actually part of the UK, but they're like crown it's some weird tax nonsense bullshit going on there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Manx pound, the Isle of Man,
Hmm.
where homosexuality was only decriminalized in like very recently 5.
Really?
Yeah. So do you know what the currency of Bhutan is?
Yeah. Bhutan. It is Bhutan. It's on the tip of my Bhutan.
Bhutan.
An idiot. Bhutan. And where was it? I've
You
lost
don't
it now.
know.
I can't.
Just admit it.
No, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
The currency. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right because it's in
Oh God.
Wonga or something, which is the language of Bhutan. It's Ungultrum. It sounds
You
like
sound
you're
like you were gulping down
you're
cum.
like you're deep throating. Ungultrum. And
I'm
100
sorry, mommy.
100 chertum makes up
Chertum.
one cum swallow. Ungultrum. There we go. And also Bhutan apparently is
One goat throat.
one go. What apparently Bhutan is like they measure that they don't do GDP, they do it like by how happy everybody is or something. They have
Yeah, and they have
right?
it's one of the happiest
One of the
places on
happiest
earth.
nations on earth. Yeah.
Yeah. And also you can't just go to Bhutan, they have to allow you
they
get
limit
visas. They
number,
don't want,
yeah. They don't want mass
yeah,
tourism. Good for them.
yeah.
Keep whitey
Village
out.
like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Keep those crazy white people out your country. Listen. Okay, and finally, do you know what the currency of Costa Rica is? Costa Rica.
Oh, the
Don't say peso or you're racist.
Costa Rican
Coffee bean.
dollar?
Huh? Cola. Did you say?
Dollar?
What
Costa Rican dollar?
No. Basically, I was surprised.
Contajeta?
I was surprised at this because Costa Rica is very like progressive and forward thinking and so their currency is the colon, which is a Columbus, basically.
Oh
So
God, that's awful.
100 centimos make up one colon, which is so they use the ultimate
Right.
colonizer as their. So come on, Costa Rica, sort it out.
As I thought with a lot of the South American countries, it was either
It's
going to
like
be
pesos.
or dollars or pesos, but then
Yeah.
Chile's got a different one as well.
I don't know. I mean,
What it is.
Argentina is peso, Mexico is peso. I think Colombia is peso. Brazil is the real. And then yeah, it's mostly like peso.
What do they have in the United Arab Emirates?
Dirham.
Dirham. Yes.
Dirham.
Dirham.
And then most other places in the world, actually, it's kind of boring. It's a mixture of like dollars, pounds,
Euros, dollars, and pounds.
Do you know what I mean? Krona, or then yen.
You know what they have in Sierra Leone?
Your mum.
Yeah.
Yay! I don't know. What is it? The pound? Is it
The Leone?
the Leone? That's good. That's at least it's original.
With a lot of the African, well, apart from the ones that were abused by the French,
Yeah,
the
still
French are
have the
still
franc,
stealing
so,
from,
yeah,
or like
yeah.
usually with the West African countries, like in Nigeria and places, they have their own.
They have the Niger, right? Or the
currency,
Naira,
yeah.
sorry, Naira.
Naira, the Niger
The
girl.
Niger.
They've got the Niger
Niger.
girl.
They've got lots of Nigers.
Niger boy.
Niger boy and Niger girl. Small girl.
Little girl.
Little girl. Come here, small girl. I was very surprised about Costa Rica. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to the president of Costa Rica demanding
And just feel like you
that
need
they
to fix that.
rename their currency. I think they should call it the Juan after me. Right. And 100 Juanitos could make up one Juan. There we go. Right.
Juanito.
Cryptocurrency, like crypto, John.
And then put your face on it as well.
Right. Do you have any crypto holdings? I can't believe I'm even
Yeah,
on.
I've got loads.
I've
got Pi.
I've been advised so
It's
many times
useless.
to start doing
sweat
crypto.
coins.
Sweat. That's the most useless
No,
thing
really,
that you ever sent me, basically, by the way, sweat coin. Like, it was so dumb, and I got sucked in, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
At work.
Basically, it's this thing. Basically, it's like when it tracks your steps, and then it's like however many steps you do a day, you get these sweat coins, and it's basically again capitalism trying to sell you stuff that you don't need,
discounts and shit.
and it gives you a discount, but it's like you have a million sweat
but
coins.
you can donate
get
your
one
sweat coins.
I'd send them back. I'd re-gift my sweat coins. They're fucking useless. The whole thing's a
Yeah,
con.
send them to a charity. You can do that.
A charity does not need your sweat coins. they need
Listen, it's a
money
start.
and or blankets. Okay, so basically,
And
give it
sweat
up.
coins.
I have been told by so many people like get into crypto, but I just
Yeah.
can't be bothered. Like I
Well,
don't
look,
understand it. I
something
don't
comes
get
up.
it. Like I feel, and I know
Investment
that
in shares,
I know
maybe.
that banks, the banking system, whatever is, it will corrupt and rotten. But like crypto is used for like fucking child traffickers, and it's really bad for the
It's a
environment.
stay.
And like this, like I'm not.
It's here to stay. Well, invest in shares in companies and different things.
There
Maybe
are
that's the way
ways to
forward.
invest, like ethically invest, obviously.
Yeah.
But you don't get the big return.
Anyone
Like,
thinking of investing, you can go to my GoFundMe page.
yeah, me too. Invest in us. Invest in us, yo. We need to be
That would be
invested in.
amazing.
I think we're cashed out.
Yeah.
um,
Ah!
that was interesting. I enjoyed our little
Yeah.
chat about money, 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 money.
Yay! Yeah.
Let's
It was good. It was good.
try and get some more because I would like to.
Money.
I
Well,
would like
look, we
to
need to get money for our trip to Japan, so
Yes, we need to go
that's what
to.
we
We
need to do.
definitely need to plan. We've been saying for years that we're going to go to Japan.
We're gonna
And
do
I
it.
started following all these Japanese course things on Instagram, by the way, to like learn a bit of
Have,
Japanese.
have
Yeah,
you?
there's
I've been just looking at loads of things with food and like where to go in Japan and like these people
yeah.
who live there and all day-to-day
People who
Japan.
live in Japan are
It's
called
amazing.
Japanese people, Efaba.
Mm.
Just so you know. Um,
You
there's
already
this
do.
woman.
You
It's
already
called.
do.
I know. It's called like Japanese with Hikari, I think. And they have the obviously there's like like in the EU or Europe you have the common European language frameworks with the levels like A1, B, blah 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 up to C. And in Japan they have their own one, and you could do like the beginners course and stuff. So I'm considering doing it
Doing
because
it.
I would
That
like
would
to be
be
able to
amazing.
like at least read
Communicate.
a bit and communicate like basic Japanese.
Yeah.
And they would lose their fucking minds.
Their
I'm
shit.
sorry. If like
I know.
black people speaking Japanese, we will be royalty. We'll get the good takoyaki then. Even though those are disgusting and I won't be eating them. Gross.
What?
Takoyaki are the octopus balls, the fried, with the
I like those.
no, they're not for me. I'm all here
Oh
for
well,
the
I'll have them.
karage, the fried chicken, the karage.
That's sexy stuff.
The okonomiyaki, the pancakes, the cabbage pancakes with the thing.
Food's
Japanese
just so
food.
good.
We need to go.
So
My belly
good.
is rumbling and we
Yeah.
need to go. Nihonjin desu. I'm Japanese. That means watashi wa jon desu.
Like Gwen Stefani.
She is a fucking idiot and
She.
she needs to be slapped in the face by a woman, obviously not by a man.
Oh my god. She needs to go. She
Like
needs to
I am
go.
Japanese. How dare you, you fucking stupid,
She's a fucking idiot.
dumb,
That's
dumb,
delusion right there. Too
dumb,
much money
dumb
and
woman.
delusion.
She's an idiot.
Anyways, on
Anyway,
that
fuck
note,
her. On that note, we're gonna leave you, but we will be back next week with more Feral Friends. So until then, we love
stay
you.
feral.
Stay feral. See you later. Bye.